No. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's County-Wide.
Hello and welcome to County-Wide. I'm Kyle Benedict, and today we're talking about Yavapai College's athletic department, specifically the soccer program, and of course they're hosting this year the national tournament, soccer national tournament Division I, and we're joined by athletic director Brad Clifford. Brad, thank you for making the trip over here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, and you know a lot to talk about here. Of course, as I mentioned, we're going to be focusing on the soccer program a lot, and it's when you look at the numbers from the soccer program, it's just, I mean, unbelievable, the record and the legacy right now that you guys have in the program, in the soccer program over there. But we'll talk about all that. But first off, how did you end up the athletic director at Yavapai College?
You know, I've come full circle at Yavapai College. I went to school there in 1980. I'm dating myself. 1988, I think, and I played basketball there back when we had a basketball program, and I played there 1 year, and then I had a herniated disc in my back, and I decided, you know, I'm just going to jump in and do something else. And I expressed interest in coaching to the coach at the time, who was Willie Bean, who has a long legacy there as well. And he said, you know what, our women's basketball team needs an assistant coach. Would you like to do that? And I said, you know what, I'd love to coach. And so I've been there ever since. I was an assistant coach for, oh goodness, 7, 8 years, and then I was named the head women's basketball coach there in 1996. And so in 2011, the school dropped men's and women's basketball, budgetary reasons, and I understand that, and I applaud the decision. I curse the decision, but I applaud the decision because they were being fiscally responsible about it. And then they asked me to serve as an assistant athletic director. And then 2 years ago, December, they asked me to take over the helm as the athletic director. So this will be my second year come December.
Okay, great. Well, you know, it's just an unbelievable athletic program that you guys have built over there. In a variety of sports. But talking about this 2014 Men's Division I Soccer National Tournament, how did you guys become the host of this tournament this year?
You know, it's a long kind of roundabout story as well. In 2008, we actually won the national championship, and it was hosted by Paradise Valley Community College. And the way the NJCAA does this is every 3 years they move the tournament around to different regions, and each region gets to bid for a 3-year term. And so Paradise Valley, the last year, they were in their second year when we won it in 2008, and they decided they didn't want to do it anymore in 2014. And so they called us and they said, hey, would you guys like to host this? And it was kind of a dream thing for Mike Pantaleone, the head coach, to say, hey, absolutely, we'd love to host it. I mean, the kind of legacy we've had, we've won it 7 times. How do we like to win it in front of our home crowd? And so we approached the administration, and we told them that we would fund it. We'd get fundraising for it and sponsors and everything, and let's host it. And the cities, both city of Prescott and Prescott Valley, jumped on the opportunity. They wanted to bring it to the event there, and so we 3 years ago we got the bid, and we're here. We are 2 weeks from hosting it.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. I mean, it starts on Tuesday, November 18th. And what are some of the kind of, I guess, things you've been preparing for? I mean, bringing in a tournament like this. I mean, you're going to have teams from all over the country. What are some of the things that you guys have been doing for that?
Well, the first thing we had to do back in 3 years ago is we had to get the hotels on board, and so we had to secure hotels and also rates, good rates for the teams to come in that they would be able to afford. So that was the first thing, and then we had to, of course, secure the facilities as far as you know, where we were going to play in Ken Lindley Field, in Prescott, and Mountain Valley Park out in Prescott Valley. Those are our home fields per se, and so we were able to secure those. And again, the cities were great with us. As a matter of fact, in Ken Lindley Field, of course, is a softball field, and so the city back in August, this past August, they put turf down, and so now it's just strictly soccer just for this tournament.
Wow.
So as soon as the tournament's done, they're going to take that turf back up, and it's going to be a softball field again. So that was the next thing. And then the next thing is just getting everybody on board, getting the sponsors, getting the donors, getting everybody on board with us to be able to fund this thing. And it's been a 3-year process. And so, you know, recently, since honestly August, we've been really just trying to get everything in line, get Prescott Valley Event Center for our banquet lined up. We've had to get officials. We've got to get the trophies in. And that's the funny thing is the NJCAA doesn't pay for 1 penny of this thing, which is our parent organization. And so we have to come up with the whole funding to pay for the trophies, to pay for the officials, to pay for everything that goes along with it. And again, it's sponsors. We're getting sponsors for it, and we've had a lot of people step up. The Yavapai tribe has actually stepped up and paid for a lot of it. So it's been a lot of hustling and talking to a lot of community people, and lo and behold, here we are 2 weeks before it.
What about when it comes to qualifying for this tournament? You know, unfortunately, we asked you in here because you guys are hosting the tournament. It's a big deal for you guys, and your soccer program we'll get into later on in the show, dive into just the unbelievable, just past 26 years you've had there in the soccer program with the head coach, of course, having an unbelievable record. We'll talk about all that, but what are some of the qualifications to get into the tournament?
Well, you have to win your region. And it's broken up into 12 regions across the state, across the country. And I shouldn't say that's 8 regions across the country. And so you got to be the winner of the region to come to the tournament. They also take 2 from 4 regions. So they kind of move it around every year. So one region will get 2 one year, but they only get 1 the next year. We happen to get 2 out of our region this year. Now, unfortunately, we obviously lost Thursday night, and we're not going to be able to qualify for the tournament. But 2 teams out of our region, which could be 2 Arizona teams, will qualify for this tournament.
Now, you mentioned that you guys unfortunately lost on Thursday, 2-1 in overtime to Phoenix College. That's the first loss of the season, and it's a shocking loss, I can imagine. Talk about a little bit about the season before we take our first break here. Just the season that the soccer program had, the men's soccer program had this year.
Well, I don't. It's unprecedented. I mean, we were 21-2. We won 20 games for I think the 20th time in the program's history, which that's kind of the benchmark is to win 20 wins. We tied twice to very good teams, but we were unblemished until Thursday. And to come away with a 2-1 loss, the crowd was stunned, the team was stunned. But Phoenix College, kudos to them. They came in and they won the game. We didn't lose it; they won the game. And you know, you can't. I know Mike came to me and said, "I'm sorry, sorry that we're not going to qualify." I said, "What are you sorry for? You were 21-2. Don't apologize for anything, because that's a pretty incredible season nonetheless." And the kids are fairly disappointed, as you might imagine, but you know, you can't knock what they have done this year. Just an incredible year.
Do you have a lot of guys that are going to be returning next year?
We are very freshman dominated, so it's fun to look forward to for next year, and I think that's what the kids are figuring out. Once they get through this little mourning period here for about a month or so, get through this tournament, I think they'll all turn their attention to, you know what, we're going to get back here and we're going to get to the tournament wherever it is next year. A
little more motivation for next year,
exactly.
Of course. Okay, great. Well, we're going to take our first break. We're talking Yavapai College athletics, specifically the soccer national tournament that they're hosting this year on November 18th. We're with athletic director Brad Clifford. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Let's switch to Energy Star light bulbs and stop burning through cash. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Kyle Bendict, and we're talking about Yavapai College, just the athletic department in general. They're hosting the National Soccer Tournament coming up on November 18th, and I'm joined by Athletics Director Brad Clifford. And you mentioned before, unfortunately, the soccer program is not going to be in the tournament this year. You guys lost on Thursday to Phoenix College, 2-1 in overtime. But as you mentioned, a 22-1 season, an unbelievable season there. Most programs and teams would kill to have that season. And that talks about, that just 22-1 kind of sums up. Even though you're not making the tournament, it just shows the type of program that you guys have in your soccer program, and that reflects, Coach Mike Pantaleone, who has been there 26 seasons since the program started, and you guys have 7 national championships. Can you talk a little bit about his role and just how key he has been to the development of this soccer program?
Well, obviously, since the inception, he started the program in 1989, and it's kind of, I guess this speaks for itself. The second year in existence, he won the national championship. So it kind of speaks for what he does for the program and what he's been to Yavapai College soccer, and not only Yavapai College soccer, but the soccer world in general for junior college. He's on the polling committee. He's the head of the polling committee. He's a Hall of Fame member of the NJCAA. He's a Hall of Fame member in a lot of things. He's going to be up for a big merit award for the NSCAA, which is the National Soccer Coaches Association. This coming up in end of November. So he's very well known, very well respected, and obviously has done a great job with the kids. He's got 360 former players that he keeps in contact on a weekly basis. He knows their names. He knows the names of their families. He's really a unique individual as far as that goes, and really cares for them, cares for what they're doing now. In fact, he's more impressed with what they're doing now than what they did while they were here. He's got doctors and lawyers and teachers and businessmen, and they came back actually on October 11th to an alumni game that we had. We had over 100 people come back for that alumni game, and so a bunch of fat old soccer players running around playing soccer, but it was the fun part. Exactly, and the fun part though was afterwards reliving some of the days and reliving some of the stories about Pantaleone, but they all speak so highly of him, and he does just a great job with what they do here at college, but also he's very impressed with what they do afterwards. 26
seasons here at Yavapai College. What did he do before he came here?
Well, he's been in soccer for a long time. He actually came here as an assistant athletic director back in 1988, I believe, and then he kind of pitched to the athletic director at the time, Lynn Merritt, hey, what about a soccer program? We can do this and this, and let's bring soccer. And Lynn bought into it, and here we are 26 years later, and he obviously had a great idea and one that really flew here in the Prescott area.
Yeah, he didn't disappoint. Over 90% winning percentage. I think he has over 550 career wins. 40-something losses.
And what's impressive about that is he's the winningest coach in junior college history. And he did it in 26 years. The next closest, he did it in 50 years. So Mike's done it relatively quick. And again, he's averaging 20 wins a season for 26 years. Nobody else can speak to that in the junior college soccer world.
That's just unbelievable. What do you think is a big reason why he's so successful, when it comes to his coaching style?
Well, first of all, he's a relentless recruiter. His first recruiting priority is to look locally. and we've had a lot of local success with local players. And when I say locally, I mean in the Yavapai County area. Then he goes to Arizona, and then he can go nationwide. So he's a relentless recruiter. And then he's old school as far as soccer goes. You play the game the right way. And the kids know how to play the game the right way. And if you watch them, they're very precision. They're very, they pass well. They don't make silly mistakes. And mentally, they're very tough. So I don't want to say he's a taskmaster, but this is the way we play here at Yavapai College, and this is the right way to play.
Discipline. I mean, 7 national championships. It's tough to argue with that. When was the last national championship?
2008. 2008 was the last one. And we did that down at Paradise Valley.
Okay, so I mean locally right there. So
yeah.
I mean over 102 playoff victories. I'm looking at the numbers here. It's just unbelievable. And as you mentioned, something that most winningest coach in junior college history when it comes to soccer, at least.
It is, and he's very, like I said, he's very well respected in the soccer world, and he hasn't not had help. Hugh Bell and Emilio Estrada, his assistant coaches. Hugh's been with him since he's been there 23 years, and he does obviously a good job recruiting and helping with the program. Emilio Estrada's only been there a couple years, maybe 4 or 5 years, but he's a former professional soccer player down in Mexico, and he works with our goalies. So Mike he surrounds himself with the best people, and obviously it makes you look good, but Mike is a very good coach, very good administrator of his program.
Talking about, again, on November 18th, of course, you guys are hosting, as we've been mentioning, the National Championship, Junior Soccer National Championship, and can you give me a rundown on some of the events? I mean, this goes all the way until the 23rd of November. What are some of the events that, in addition to the games, that you guys are going to be hosting?
Well, I think the keynote event, the big event is going to be November 17th, Monday night. It's going to be our Dinner of Champions, and that's where all the teams come together. We're going to have a keynote speaker. We've invited a lot of community members. We've invited both mayors to come. Our president will be coming to speak. When I say president of the college, will be coming to speak. And we'll have a nice little event that night. We're going to hold it in Prescott Valley Event Center. They're formerly Tim's Toyota Center. And so that'll be a nice event for them just to relax. And I know they're going to be on edge because here we go, we're going to start the next morning at 9:30. But it'll be a nice just getaway and to honor those student athletes that have worked so hard to get to a national tournament. Yeah. And that's the thing that I want to impress on those kids, those players, is that this is a national tournament. Nobody else. There's no other teams. There's 12 teams vying for that this year. And there's 364 that are actually staying home now. Unfortunately, we're one of them, but nonetheless, it's a national tournament. And so that'll be, I think, our big event prior to the games starting the next day, November 18th.
When it comes to, with soccer, it's not uncommon to have ties, finish end games and ties. When it comes to a tournament like this, I mean, a national tournament, how do you deal with a tiebreaker, or is there a tiebreaker? What's the process of dealing with a game that ends in a tie?
And this is a new process, actually. Last year was the first year we went to 12 teams. The NJCA went to 12 teams. Prior to that, it was 8 teams. But last year we went to 12 teams, and so we'll put there'll be 4 pools of 3. So Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they'll play in the pool play. They'll get 2 games, and then the winner of their pool or their group will go to the semifinals. So there'll be 4 semifinalists on Saturday, and so there will not be tiebreakers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They'll just take a tie. Okay. And of course, in soccer, you get points for a tie, you get points for a win, you get no points for a loss. And so it'll end up, hopefully, one team will have more points than the other, even though there's a tie. Once we get to the semifinals, then there'll be overtime. And if it gets to, at the end of overtime, if there's nobody goals, then you go to penalty kicks, and et cetera, et cetera. So Saturday and Sunday, we will play it out, so you will have to find out a winner.
There'll be no ties.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to take our second break, talking about the national tournament that the soccer program in Yavapai College is hosting on November 18th through the 23rd with Athletics Director Brad Clifford. We'll be back here in a couple minutes.
Time to wake up. I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget, you've got a job to do today.
Hey, Mom.
I got the job. Thanks.
Got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict talking Yavapai College athletics. They're hosting the 2014 Men's Division I Soccer National Tournament. That's going to be hosted at Yavapai College. Unfortunately, their soccer program is not going to be in it, suffering a heartbreaking loss to Phoenix College 2-1 in overtime on Thursday. But as we mentioned earlier in the program, the soccer program itself has been anything but disappointing. When it comes to this tournament, it starts on the 18th. How much are tickets? How do people get tickets? What are the deals that you have for tickets?
Well, I tell you, the best deal right now that we have, Kyle, is to go online. You can go at, and the soccer, the website is www.soccer2014.yc.edu. If you go online, you can get a a smoking deal. For $25, you can get a tournament pass that will get you into every game and every venue. Not just, it'll be, we're holding it 2 venues, so Mount Valley Park and Kinley Field, so you can get into every game for $25. Otherwise, it's $10 per day. No matter if you're coming for 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, and there's 4 games a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. $10 a day equal that out, it's going to be about $40. So I think that's a smoking deal. Get on there, $25. You can get the whole pass, and that'll get you into everything.
It looks like you mentioned 2 different locations. Looks like there's a game at 9:30 in the morning, and then 2 in the afternoon, 2:30 and 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
Right. And those morning games will be played at Mountain Valley Park in Prescott Valley, and again, it starts at 9:30 and 2 o'clock, or excuse me, 9:30 and noon, and then we jump over to Prescott to Kinley Field for 2:30 and 5. The 5 o'clock game being the twilight game, which unfortunately we won't be playing those, but it'll be a prime game for sure.
Great.
The interesting thing, if I can just mention real quick, is some of these players that have played in the national tournament in recent years have played in the World Cup this last year as well.
Really?
So yeah, junior college players, which have gone on and done some great things. I mean, we had one that played with us, I believe, in 2004 or 5, Roger Espinosa, who played for Honduras this last year in the World Cup. So you're going to see the future a little bit.
You're going to see some good soccer.
Exactly. It's going to be really good soccer. Probably soccer that we have not experienced here in Yavapai County, unless you're watching Yavapai College on a regular basis.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being here. I mean, 3 years in the making. It's finally here in a couple of weeks.
It's getting daunting here. 2 weeks remaining here.
2 weeks. Well, I'm sorry to hear, unfortunately, that you guys won't be in it. But I mean, again, great program you guys have built over there. And yeah, once again, the National Soccer Tournament starts on November 18th at Yavapai College. Athletic Director Brad Clifford joining us today. Thank you again for being with me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
That's today's Countywide. Again, talking athletics over at Yavapai College. I'm Kyle Benedict. We'll see you guys next time.